There it goes. Okay. Hi everyone. Vickie Verley here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. We are going to take a look at the new moon in Gemini, which is on June 4th, 2016, just about 11 p.m. Eastern time, but times will vary. It's a little late getting this out. A bunch of stuff going on. Look at these numbers again. Here it is, 14, 14, 14. Well, the new moon's at 14, and it's conjunct Venus at 14. Now, of course, you guys, it was pointed out in the 14 in the tarot is temperance. Here's something else that here's the other part of it. 1 plus 4 is 5, which is Mercury, Gemini, a number again. Because at 14 out, I know all of you don't watch every single one, but a couple of times ago, it was really standing out to me, those 14s. The other thing, and there was some other interesting comments made about the actual number 1414. Here's one more thing I realized. I've been revising my tarot deck I'm going to try a different printer so I can get it on Amazon and people can get it in Europe more easily. And I've been revising the tarot deck, and I realized that each tarot suit is Ace through King is 14 cards too. So that's another little crazy little 14. I was going to say coinkydink. What the hell? That is definitely a word that I never say, so I don't know where that's coming from. Okay. But anyway, so new moon in Venus, that's cool. That part is really cool. Of course we know there's a lot of squares and stuff, but let's talk about that for a minute. New moon conjunct Venus, this is beautiful. It's a time to start new beautiful things. Whether it's new beautiful relationships, because Gemini, Libra's the card of marriage and partnership, but Gemini is it's the twins. There's two of them, and it's talkative and socializing. So it's very much a card of relationships. I feel in partnerships. It can be not a card, but an energy or a sign. Gemini or Mercury, its ruler. Oh, by the way, I must have forgot to when I ran the chart because I've been kind of busy lately. This is the actual chart for that exact time in New York. Okay, so I didn't do the 0 areas, so I'll try to get back to that next time. I have to do a special setting when I run the chart, and I just forgot about it. Okay, so new moon in Gemini, new moon in relationships, Venus, people you hit it off with, a great conversation with the Gemini. Venus, you like each other right off the bat. Whether it's love or just friendships or any kind of thing. If any of you are starting like new jobs or something like this, the people are gonna get along with, because it rules the Mercury, Gemini. This is all third house stuff. These are the people you're with all the time, every day. So great for that. If you're a writer, this is a killer moon for writers here. Because Venus with Sun and Moon and Venus all together, this is prose. This is creative expression through verbal writing, words, poetry. Definitely with Venus, it could tie into music, lyrics. Back to Gemini again, problem solving with your mind. Looking at creative solutions to problem solving situations. Now it's opposing Saturn. Okay, we're going to branch out. We're going to get into this because the Grand Cross is upon us. I don't know if you can see. Let me try to blow it up and look at that aspectarian, but because it's always a good idea to run the chart with the aspectarian and look at it, because sometimes it'll pick up things that you might miss. So see all these squares over here? These are squares. All those little boxes. Square, 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 square. And it's the mutable signs. It's all happening in the mutable signs. And of course the mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. These are the mutable signs. Squares, sometimes squares are considered, bad aspects. I don't really feel like they're bad aspects. Nothing's good or bad. It's what you make of it. That's the whole story right there, right? Squares make things happen. So with all these, we had Mercury in retrograde, we had Mars, and Mars is still in retrograde, but it's going to go direct in June sometime. So you feel stalled, you feel delayed, you feel like things aren't moving forward. Squares make things happen. So if you're waiting for something to happen, this is triggering, this is activating these grand crosses. But let's look at just Saturn, post Saturn. So I feel like this could be people you meet now. It just feels real people. Gemini's people oriented, socializing, getting out and about. The northern hemisphere, it's summer, so people, we are out and about more. We are going to different, with the Venus, it could be like going to an art festival or outdoor concert or something like that. Things that you do more in the summertime. And with Sagittarius is sporting too. It could be like going to a sporting event or something. I was thinking Leo, fifth house, but I have to remember that that's not this. This chart is not the flat wheel. But anyway, so Saturn, the people that you're socializing and meeting with on a positive level when Saturn's involved, these could be people that you have a very deep connection with. When you have a Saturn connection with somebody, this is a deep connection. This is not just somebody that just you happened upon, and are just going to not make an impact on your life. These are people that make impacts on your life. So for a lot of you, if you're starting a new relationship, new job, going into a new environment, this could be some heavy connections. And I don't want to say it's necessarily in a bad way. Saturn is karmic, yes, it's true. But karmic connections are not always negative. People who are going to help you out, you'll have a Saturn connection with. If you're in a long-term relationship, in your family, there's usually some Saturn theme running through families, If you want to take it to that way of the family thing, it usually will be paternal with Saturn. It's your father, your grandfather, the paternal line. It could be like that. Maybe some of you are going to go to a family reunion. This could totally be like that. And these are with Venus. There's love. Venus and Saturn together are a beautiful combination. It could be long-lasting and enduring love. Now, of course, there's other elements we're going to figure in here. But before I get off of that, what I was talking about, the family reunion thing, right? It could be like these are people you love and you're connected to, but you just don't really even see them all that often. But you're going to have a chance to socialize with them. Or maybe even some of you are going to go to some sort of class reunion or something like that. Or maybe there's a wedding in the family coming up and everybody's, you're going to get together with people. In some cases, maybe you don't associate with them all the time, but there's a strong connection nonetheless. Like you all have this shared Saturnian thing, whether it's through your lineage or through shared experiences of your own past and growing up or whatever it may be. Okay. Well, it's squaring off with the, so this is the Sagittarius-Gemini portion of the Grand Cross. Then we've got another opposition here. It's squaring off with the Virgo-Pisces opposition aspect of it. And I've talked a lot about that aspect, the opposition of that, because the nodes have been in here. So this is activating those nodes. It's activating Jupiter. And of course, whenever the nodes and Saturn are together, this is some karmic stuff. This is like the crossroads, literally. We got this big grand cross, and it's like you're standing at the crossroads. And not because you're going to do a deal with the devil, like, was that Robert Johnson, the original Down to the Crossroads dude? But it's not like, well, maybe some of you are, I hope not. It's a turning point, it's a crossroads in your life. It can be. There can be these, and Gemini, Mercury, which rules Gemini, is very much mental. It's very much in the mind. So a lot of us, it's going to be these mental decisions we're making. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Which way do I turn? What do I think about this? Now with the Grand Cross, it makes me think of fixed. I don't know if that's really a... because the one thing about the mutable signs is it's more pliable. It's more malleable. It's not so fixed, And in this, boy, people are just really getting fixed lately. It just seemed polarizing, more and more polarized. And this is my position, and this is what I think, and that's that. Well, it's time to be more open-minded. And I've said again and again, as new discoveries are, everybody wants to just put a bow on it, and that's the end of everything. It's just in every single aspect of life. And it all is because our mental mind wants to know, well, what's the solution? What's the answer? Who do I blame? This is a big thing that I see so much with the political climate in America right now. Who do I blame? They want to blame each other. the thing came up with the gorilla. That is such a sad thing. The gorilla got shot at the zoo. And, okay, the solution is that the zoos are bad because they have bad fencing. Well, how about maybe the solution is that zoos are bad, period? You know, I go to my zoo all the time. I try to connect with those animals there. But zoos are a horrible place. There was a meme going around about this kid's interpretation of the zoo. It's where they put animals in jail, in prison, and treat them bad or something. And that's pretty much it. You know, maybe this thing has bubbled up in the zeitgeist. This thing about the gorilla is that maybe, not that we got to have more security at the bars at the zoo. Maybe we need to do away with zoos altogether or change zoos. You know, I could visualize a place more like a sanctuary, and we're the ones who walk through. You know, not these sanctuaries where you drive through. I mean, that's okay, but I've seen a lot of times animals attacking those and like the safari ones. But what if we walk through a glass enclosure? You know, like that. How would that would be so much better for the animals. There'd be certain to be safety. We could look at them through glass or whatever it takes, you know, kind of like how they do at aquariums. You know, you have the fish, you kind of walk through this glass tunnel, and the fish are sort of all around you. That would be a much better way. I think that's more the message. You know, these things come up and it's just like, okay, we'll fix the bars at the zoo, case closed, story's over. On to the next thing. And you know, this Gemini too, it's all this information that we get blasted with. There's just so much information coming at us. It's just so fast. And I'm talking fast right now either. I have to slow down. But here's one thing I noticed, that younger people really talk fast. Sometimes my daughters is just like, slow down, what did you say? I used to remember, for those of you, well, it's still around, but Monty Python. I used to watch Monty Python back in the day, and they, as an American trying to listen to Monty Python, and they're talking really fast, it's like I would have to watch, you know, I couldn't catch half of it, you know. And this is now, it's like American English. People are talking American English, and it's like, like, whoa, what did you say? I caught about 2 words of that. Because everything's so fast. It's just moving faster. And it almost kind of started with the MTV when they used to cut those movies really fast. And now it's like the information just, you know, and the computer and the internet and the, you know, our smartphones, it all just comes at us fast. It's just too much. And that's the Mercurial energy. That's the Gemini energy. I don't know how I kind of got off on that tangent. That gorilla thing really bothered me. But it's just like, okay, we're going to fight about it, and I'm going to blame you. It's the gorilla's fault. It's the mother's fault. It's this one's fault. It's like, well, why don't we look for a solution instead of blaming everybody here, you know? Why don't we be a little more open-minded, you know? Let's not blame everybody. Or just like, you know, because we're missing the bigger thing here. We're missing that maybe zoos are just bad, period. Maybe they're just wrong to hurt animals like that and put them in those conditions. Or back it up to that whole honey boo boo thing. Oh, it's that mother's fault. It was her fault. She did it, blah, blah, blah. And well, maybe it's the industry of the little girls dressing up in sexy, what's that, you know, the child pageants. Maybe that's what's really, this thing's bubble up. And we kind of miss it because we just move past it. So, okay, stamp. The zoo sucks, bad. More bars at the zoo, or it's the mother. Stamp. That's my opinion. Move on. Next thing, blah. Because it's just coming at us. So, the Pisces aspect of this is to like chew on it, resonate with it, swim in it for a while, slow down, take a, you know, well, with the air you could be taking breaths too, but Chiron in Pisces, how are we going to heal it? So we'll blame somebody and then it's over. Okay, next, you know. What's the next bad thing that's going on we can blame somebody for? Maybe blaming is not the solution. Maybe it should be an ongoing, open discussion always, and not just the zoo or the honey. I don't know why that honey boo boo thing popped up in my head, but you know, it's because they were blaming the mother in that case too. I think maybe this needs to be an ongoing conversation. Maybe as things evolve and change, we need to evolve and change. Our perspective, our opinion needs to evolve and change. And with Venus, there could be a great opportunity to have these kind of conversations where we're not, especially with this political stuff too. I'm just already so sick of hearing it all. And I barely even watch any TV or I'm on social media at all. and I feel bombarded by it. I might turn on the news for a second. I try to turn on the news at the right time so I can just catch the local weather, because it's always better than, and I want to catch the weather, and I jeez, back the freak off of me. Shut the freak up already. Chill out. I can't. It's too much. It's too much for for me to take in, and I don't want to take it all in. Half of it's just crap. It's almost like it's to busy our minds. Let's busy our minds so we don't really take a look at the big picture, because our mind is so busy on all this crapola that keeps shooting out every which way at us, and you can't get away from it, because it's on your phone. You take it with you everywhere you go. It's crazy. All right, enough. I'm gonna get my soapbox. So, but back here, we've got Jupiter with Virgo. Virgo wants to work to do the right thing. Virgo wants to make things better. So Virgo wants to find solution, Virgo energy, and Jupiter's there too. So it's really, instead of arguing, this verbal assaulting, blah, 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 he said that, blah, 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 blah. Let's chill out. Let's look for real solutions, and let's implement them with the Virgo energy. Virgo's, let's get to work. Let's find solutions. Let's build different kinds of zoos that are more of an animal sanctuary than a zoo. That's more the solution. That poor gorilla didn't know what, obviously they had to do something. And please don't go crazy in the comments. I'm kind of, I'm not taking a side. I'm just saying, well, what's the solution? And maybe the solution is to build a better mousetrap, build a better zoo. Oh, my battery just dropped already. Just charge this thing. I'll try to finish up, but if it goes long, I might have to cut it together. So we haven't talked about a lot of this. So down in the south node, we've got Chiron, south node, and Neptune, the Pisces sector down here. So it's always about these healing of these old wounds. Just because it's something that's Saturn, traditional, that's been done this way forever and ever, does not mean it's right. Just because that's the structure that's been set in place does not mean that it's the best thing or that it's sustainable. Because I feel like this Gemini, like this internet, this constant barrage of is that sustainable? I don't know if that's sustainable. Even just from your eyes standpoint, is it good for your eyes to be constantly looking at that screen? Is that really sustainable? And I know the younger generation, and Gemini is the youth, and they're into it, and they've been, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's overwhelming. That's what I'm saying. It can get overwhelming. And I just seem to be noticing a lot of bickering. My way's right, you're wrong. And these politicians, and it just seems like it's all, maybe because of the Mars retrograde, and Scorpio too. It's like stuff that's festering and people getting all wound up and, cooked up and just getting their panties in a bunch. Something like that. Anyway, so I want to take a quick look down here. What's going on here? This Ceres is coming into a join with Uranus. And they've got it opposing. That's a pretty wide orb. I don't know if I'd count that. But let's look at this Ceres opposed Uranus. Ceres is the goddess of the grain. It's the nurturer. It's the well-being. Feeding people. And we're feeding them technology is what we're being fed. And we're being fed, and it just, the negative side of Gemini too is that used cars salesman. Like my mom used to say, it's somebody who's got a good line of shit. They got a good line of shit. They know how to talk some shit to you. It's that sleazy, and politicians, a lot of them could fall into that category too, and it's coming at you through the media, through this Uranus energy, So Ceres is moving in there. I mean, it's like Uranus is this giant thing, and I don't know that Ceres is going to really have all that much of effect on Uranus, but it could, in the positive way, when we bring in the Jupiter and Virgo, and the North Node in Virgo, because Ceres is somewhat akin to Virgo energy, I would say, too. It's the healer, it's the caretaker, we want to feed everybody. Cancer wants to feed people too. And later in June we'll be moving into the... Okay, guys, sorry that battery did run out. I'll splice it together later. I've calmed down a lot. Yeah, I was getting kind of myself, you know. I was starting to rattle a little myself. Or like, you know, people, they say they like to hear the sound of their own voice. Because a lot of people talk and say nothing. I think I was getting... But that's like the energy of this. When I look at this, it's like... That's just crazy. I don't know where the tape got cut off, but I was starting to talk about Sirius and Uranus and how... you know, this stuff just comes at us. And it's through technology. But with Sirius closing in, as I said, I don't know that Sirius would necessarily have such a huge impact on giant Uranus down there. But taking into that with the Jupiter North Node here, this is holding steady, holding strong here. You know, this is more so than this new moon. This is more the foundation of this. This is what I see as the foundation of this whole thing here. If I had to pick, even though it's the Gemini new moon and this grand cross, this big cross, this is more the foundation that I see. Virgo wants to be of service. How can I be of service? How can I help? What can I do instead of bitching and accusing and blaming? You know, what can I do to make things better? How can I use my mind and my creativity in my mind to come up with a solution? What solutions are available? How can we implement them? You know, these are more the things that's the high road. Let's just put it that way. You know, there's a positive and negative all the time, you know, in every single planetary vibration, of every single astrological sign. It's all about how you use the energy, right? Again, the positive way would be to think of creative solutions. Use social media instead of blaming. If something pisses you off, if you see something in social media that pisses you off, instead of writing some snarky, nasty comment, why not say something positive? Talk about what you do want or what you do like. And you know, the people that bitch the most are the ones that are never offering up any solutions. In all walks of life. Always the complainers, they just want to complain. It's like, well, what should we do then? Do you have a better idea? No, blah, 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 blah. You know, they just want to... Okay, I don't want to go there anymore. I think it's I also mentioned, I don't know if it came in, but it's that Mars retrograde. You know, people have these inner pissed offedness. You know, I don't know what it is. It's this inner... anger. You know, it's anger. That would be the correct terminology. They have this inner anger and this inner... it's almost like a bully, you know, a bully thing. There's like a bully vibe about it. And the other thing is, too, when you get people, you know, you get people all pissed off, then it takes attention away from... You know, it gets you in that mindset. It gets you in that vibe and that energy. Yeah, I'm pissed off too. I don't like that either. Yeah, you're right. You know, we got to shake that off. I mean, that's going to be happening. That is going to be happening a lot with all this square. You know, that's going to happen a lot. But we do have there's a trine in Earth. We've got Mercury, trine Pluto, trine Jupiter. So there's that grand trine in Earth. You know, this is when cooler heads prevail. And while this Mercury is in here, what's some sound advice that we can do? Let's ground it in the earth. Let's not just be blah, 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 blah. You know, let's ground it in the earth. What are some practical, down-to-earth things, and the node too, that's going to ensure our future? Jupiter's coming in here to ensure our future blessings. What path do we want to walk down? Path, timeline, whatever you want to call it. Do you want to walk down the path line where everybody's blah, 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 blah? There's a crossroads, and it's always going to be our own personal decisions that decide which way we're going to go and how we're going to use the energy. Jupiter's here bringing blessings to the North Node, which is the direction that we're going in. Okay, it's part of, maybe that's why I was feeling that it's before I even noticed that it's part of the Grand Cross and it's part of the Grand Trine. It's cool how the psychic works too. I love how that works. And you can always then go back, oh yeah, it's part. That's why I feel it's the foundation. Before I even noticed that it's part of both things. So because our trine, you see all these trines here. You got Mercury, trine Pluto. It's not counting it as trining Jupiter. I would count that 6 degrees out. That's a trine. It's trining the node too. So, but there's a Grand Trine on Earth. Earth is, let's get down to earth. Let's get real here. Yeah, you can talk up all you want, but again, with the Virgo, what are we going to do? What's the Virgo is the calm one in the room. The Virgo is the person in the room that's like, well, what can I do to help? Wow, what can we do? You know. Also, look at Jupiter's at 14 too. I didn't catch that, exactly 14. I didn't catch that till just this minute either. Anything else at 14? That 14 is something. Temperance. Well, let's. I mean, I know you guys watch this probably aren't that much into the tarot, but the Temperance. You know, these are these big iconic. Not iconic. I always forget that word. You know what I mean? What's in everybody's subconscious mind? The big, whatever you call that. It's gonna drive me crazy. It'll pop in. But anyway, so Temperance. Let's look at Temperance. It's balance and harmony. It's the alchemist. It's successful combinations. It's also features an angel, whether you believe in that or not. And it doesn't have to be believing in angels in the biblical way, you know. But let's just say that there is this higher source or this higher being and that could be looked at as the node even, you know, there's this higher thing going on. Archetypes, thank you. Because the major arcana are the archetypes, you know. But anyways, there's this higher thing going on. It's more than, oh, you pissed me off because you posted this on this and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's more than that. It's higher. There's a higher, the high road. There's a higher energies and forces that are at work on this. And it's about balance. Yes, we need to be fair to everybody. But how can, okay, well, I have this idea. How about you do this and I'll do this? Okay, let's do that. You know, getting back to the practical solutions. What is going to make a successful outcome? Because the Temperance, they blend all the different things into the new thing. So it's about blending of all the different things and bringing it into a new, into unity, into a new combination, combining things together to make a successful outcome for all, for everyone. I should pull up that Temperance card. Can I pull it up really quick? No, probably not. But take a minute to look at it. It's worth looking at. Let's look, because that Jupiter's at 14. It's the foundation of this. It's involved in the cross and in the trine. And it's 14, 14, 14, 14. It's everywhere. Even the Jupiter number itself looks like a 4, right? So it's that 1 and 4, 1 and 4. Well, in the tarot, there's the magician. 1 is the magician, and 4 is the emperor. So we don't want to be the emperor. I'm the boss of everything. I'm the authority. It's going to be my way. We're going to do things my way. I'm right, you're wrong. You know, or we're going to be the magician who's more empowered. You know, and I'm ready to take action. What can I do? I'm ready to roll. I'm forging my future ahead. You know, that's what this really feels like, and it's a big turning point. And we're all going to sit with it for a while. This is not going to just change. This is going on for a little bit, and as all Mercury's going to come through, this is getting activated to the max. It's going to be sitting here for a while, and it is a crossroad, and the Grand Trine is sitting for a while as well. So it's a very different kinds of energy. You know, it's a very different kinds of energy. It's Mercury. Mercury wants to solve problems too. You know, Mercury's Mercury, and used in the right way, Mercury ruler of Gemini, the new moon, it could be great. It's intellect, it's the mind, it's all the things I talked about in the beginning. I did say all the positive stuff. And maybe it's just my perspective. Maybe that's just what I'm seeing everywhere. Seeing people are just arguing and bitching. And, you know, and I'm even, like, out in the garden, I'm not even trying to look at this stuff, and it's still reaching me. So somebody who's got their face in a screen all day, how deep is that ingrained in you? How much is that reaching you? Well, you got a face in your screen right now listening to my videos, so I don't want you to... Don't tune out just yet. But anyways, I am going to wrap it up. But so I feel like it's, you know, down to the crossroads here. Which way do I want to go? Am I going to be malleable? Am I going to, the positive signs, the positive aspect again of the mutable signs is they're malleable. Am I going to be malleable? Am I going to be willing to listen to others? Am I going to be able to bend and compromise, like the temperance card, you know? Am I going to be able to, you know, roll with the changes? Because this is changes. There's changes afoot. This is what's happening. We've got to take into account our past as a collective with the South Node and the Neptune. Neptune, one more thing. Let's get into that for a minute, too. Neptune, what have we been blinding ourselves to? What have we been looking at through rose-colored glasses? What have we not seen clearly? And you don't have to be like, well, I know everything. I see everything clearly because I know everything, and I'm blah, 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 blah. No, it's true with everybody. It's true with me. It's true with everybody. There's things you don't want to look at. There's things you don't see clearly. You don't know everything. It's also about, it's all four of the elements. It's air, fire, water, and earth. It's all the elements. So if you're too much in your mind, then you're not getting into your spirit and your soul, the energy of Pisces. You know, and if you're, so it's a balancing act, and I think it's no accident that these four. Thanks, Tracy, was the first one I think that pointed out that 14 was the temperance card in the comments. So I think temperance and 14 is so apropos. Since I got to splice this thing together anyway, I might as well. I'll find those cards and I'll put them up on the screen so you guys can take a look at them. But yeah, we got to strike a balance. We can't any leaning towards anything too strongly is not good. If you're just in your mind and you're just all your information comes from social media, that's not good. If you're just I'm going to go meditate and be spiritual on the mountain and not really be in the world, that's not good either. If you're going to be, well, I'm going to be all scholarly and I'm going to learn about it and study about it and be a scholar about it, that's not good either. If it's like, well, I'm going to work myself into the bone to try to, just work, that's all, and that's not good either. Too much of any one of these energies is not good. Okay, that's another big part of it. But my first impression is really, it's the crossroads. Which way are you going to go? Does this look like a megaphone? Like this is just I just feel like this is blasting in my ear. This coming off of Saturn, these opposition lines, like those things you talk through. It was back in the '90s. Bands were using them again, but it's really. You guys know what a megaphone is. I don't have to explain it. But I'm even hearing it like that, like the older time ones. Like in those old movies where they wear the big long coats and stuff, the big fur coats, even the men, and the little straw hats, and they talking through the megaphone. And it's the politics, I'm just going to blast you, And, okay, you blasted me. I've heard what you have to say. Now let me take it in. Let me savor it. Let me resonate in it. Let me... congeal with it. Let it wash over me. Sometimes, too much information is a bad thing. I know that's a terrible thing. They used to say there's never too much information, but sometimes it's just, maybe not too much information, but too much, this stuff here. It just gets to be just too much. I like that Venus is coming in. I like that could help us be more cordial, more courteous, more kinder, if that's what we're dealing with. Maybe for many of us, maybe it's like take some time to journal. This is a great time to write down your thoughts. Venus, or if you need to have a difficult conversation with somebody, with Venus moving in here, let's really talk about this. Okay, we've argued up and down. Okay, I've called you I've accused you, I've blamed you, you blame me. Now let's try to be kinder to each other. Let's try to have a real conversation without blaming, without accusing. Let's be kind. Let's strike that balance and find that solution. Let's decide which path we want to walk down here. Okay, I think I've chattered on enough. Hey everybody, I am doing the soul readings. They're open for business now. This is a really deep reading. If you're watching this and you're into astrology, I get into your chart big time. I look at your past lives. I look at your soul mission. I look at several key points in your chart. It's not an in-depth analysis of your entire chart, but these are just a few examples of what it looks like. I jot down notes and draw pictures. It's a real cool thing. It's a real deep thing. I think nobody really is doing this except me that I know of so far anyway. But anyways, yeah, it's a unique thing. I try to keep it, within reasonable cost too, and it's better for me too because I can sit down and do this when I really am feeling kind of psychic. The thing I don't like about that appointment readings is, you got to be psychic on the dot. Appointment, okay, turn it on, be psychic. And I can do it, and that's why I use the cards. I did it for years. I worked shows and fairs, and appointment readings forever. I've done it. But this is much better. It's going to be a better reading for you. It's going to be, and it's easier for me. Because if I'm not really feeling it, I won't do it just then. I only do it when I'm really kind of in the zone, and it's pretty cool. Everybody, I got so much great feedback about those readings. They really are a really cool thing and really different. Anyways, here it is. I'm sorry if I rattled on. That's the new moon in Gemini. Expect more. Expect more rattling from everybody. And I hate to say it, but maybe expect some more of this bickering. I mean, that could be going on, and it's going to reach you. It's coming in from all directions through Uranus energy here. Okay. Hey, everyone. Have a great new moon in Gemini. And I'll speak to you soon. Remember, your love and beauty incarnate. Thanks for all your donations, liking, sharing, everything you do to help my channel. It's greatly appreciated. Have a great new moon in Gemini, and I'll speak to you soon.